regular term, like, hey, get out of your way, you're blocking me. It means to like block out, and it means where and when the actors move on stage. And this is the director's main job. And for me, super fun. So when you go to see the professional production, if I'm an actor in the show, maybe I say a few lines here, and then I walk over here, I say a few lines, maybe my point is to look this way, look that way, I do this. All of these movements are my blocking, and every time I do it exactly the same way. People sometimes don't understand. They think actors come in and they're like, I'm an actor. Today I feel great. I'm really going to play this part. I'm just going to run all over the stage and they're going to see all of my talent. And that's not the way that it works. You can put more energy in your performance, but all of your movements, all of your blocking has been decided, and every time you do the show, you do it the same way. And a big important thing, if I'm standing here, I'm supposed to be standing here saying this line, and I decided it was better over here, the lighting designer has designed a spotlight for me to be right there. So now I decided I was going to move, and I'm over here in the dark, and there's an empty spotlight. So actors really do it precisely every time, and that's how we're going to learn to do it and rehearse, so that we're going to do it like the professionals, so we can look professional. Yes?
How you just said about like how actors do like, oh, I'm just going to show them my talent. That sort of reminded me of when the Midsummer's Night Dream with Bottom.
Right, so he maybe didn't have great blocking. They didn't know how to block, so I like that. They may have been crazy, they were amateur actors. That was the show we worked last year. So right now, I need 2 volunteers. It's going to be the easiest volunteer you're going to do all year because there's no speaking. So I need 1 Sylvia and 1 Proteus. All right, come on up here. Come on up. Somebody tell me, in this scene that we worked on, what's the setting? Who goes? Paris.
Proteus? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sylvia, she's on her like windowsill or something like that, and Proteus has like a band and they're singing.
Yeah. So maybe you two can just scoot over here. You're a little bit in my stage area, so just scoot over a little bit. You don't have as much room. Chikuzi, why don't you play Sylvia and step here on the chair for me? Just don't hurt yourself in any way. Just stand up there. Okay. And tell me your name. Kyla is going to play Proteus. So, Kyla, can you come right here? Face towards Sylvia. Just kick one knee. Kick a knee. Okay. So, right now, just in this picture, without even acting, without even words, tell me which character you think has more power and why. Raise your hand and tell me. What do you think?
Well, based on the view, it would be Chikuzi because she's like at the top and she's on the floor.
Exactly, right? So Shakespeare even did this blocking himself, right? So Chikuzi not only is the character looking down on Proteus, she's literally looking down on him. Daniel, will you just stand up and pull that piece of tape gently off and we'll see? This is our first element of blocking, and this is levels, which means vertical levels. Whoever's the highest has the most power, right? So you can use this in blocking. This is probably Kyla is the lowest level. You can sit in a chair, you can stand on a chair, and you can change levels to help tell the story. So maybe when we see the show, they may do the whole scene like this. I don't know. I haven't seen the show yet. Okay? I haven't even started really working on it. But we're going to imagine that maybe she was just up a few stairs like on a porch, and that she can come down. So Chikuzi just step down. And now I'm just going to have you do this way. And turn away, turn around. Just turn your back and just scoot a little bit this way. And Kyla, just stand up. And now just look like you're trying to talk to Sylvia, right? Just make a gesture like you're speaking towards her. Perfect, right there. Okay. In this picture, don't even look at her, Chikuzi, face away. Who has more power and why? Raise your hand and tell me, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Right here, go ahead.
Sylvia again seems to have more power. Because it looks like Proteus is sort of begging more or less, and so she's sort of ignoring him.
I was just about to say, what tactic could this be? This is ignoring. I do think that Sylvia has more power because we see Proteus wants to talk to her, wants to have a connection, and her back is turned. So whoever's back is turned has the most power. Kyla, turn your back too. Turn. If this is a different scene and they're both in a fight and they both turn their backs, it's equal, right? Both turn towards each other. Right? So now if they're in a scene and they're talking, same level, talking, look at each other, we also have another equal moment. Okay? This, you guys can see, is the second thing on our blocking list. Facing each other or facing away can help you tell the story. And now, Chigozi, will you just stand here? And then you can look at Proteus a little bit, all right? And Kyla, I'm going to put you all the way almost in the corner here. And can you just go over a little bit for me? A little bit of you. Just scoot back, you're like in the seat. So put it in space right here. All right. Even in this picture right now, it gets a little harder. Who do you think has more power and why? Who's really looking? Go ahead. Why do you say that?
Because it looks like Sylvia is like turning away. She looks like she is walking away.
Okay, what else? Yeah.
Also because Kyla is in the corner, and it kind of and when the way it's set up, how she's like more towards the audience and she's more towards the back. I kind of like she's has more power.
Yeah, the staging, we're going to talk more about this another time. And the other thing I want to ask, which character really wants to have this much or even more space between them? Yeah, Sylvia. Sylvia is like, she tells him a few times in the scene, return, go home to bed, get away from me, right? And Proteus, we know, his plan is to get as close to Sylvia as possible. So the fact that they're so far apart, I think, gives Sylvia power. Chigozi, come stand here, please. And then Kyla, just stand, yeah, face the audience. And then just be like you're talking in her ear right here. All right. So in this scene, what do you think? Who might have more power? What do you think? Go ahead.
Sylvia still, because it sort of looks like Kyla is just, Proteus is just trying to like whisper in her ear while Sylvia's like half listening, half not, and turned her back.
Yeah, you could play it like that. Or I also think this might be a moment when Proteus has more power because he's gotten a little bit of his plan. He's gotten a little closer to her. To even just be able to speak to her this close together. So you'll see that's the last thing on our list there. Close together and far apart can really help tell the story. So you guys see, me being a director, this is what's so fun for me. I'm like the puppet master. I'm like, stand up, sit down. I find it fun. It's exciting for me. So I need now one of you to be the director, mix and match some of these, and really set it up. Let's set it up so Sylvia has the most power possible. And don't do that. All right, here, tell me your name. Shakayla. All right, so come up and tell them how to stand, where to go, and so that we see Sylvia have the most power possible, and you're going to use more than one element, all right?
Absolutely.
Yes, so mix and match them together. Tell them what to do.
Okay, Kyla, stand on the chair.
Okay.
I'm Kyla, and you go.
All right, so now we have a high level. That's one element. What else can we do? All right.
Kyla, step down.
Oh, even right here. So she did her back, she did a great distance, and she did a level. Nice job, Shakayla. I'm working on this. All right. Now, hey, this is going to be a harder direct one. Have you guys ever been in like a power struggle, maybe with a sibling, when there's something that you both want and you're fighting over it and you both want to have power over it, and there's a moment where you're both trying to get power but you're equal because you're both struggling so hard it's not really going either way. Who can show me how can we do that sort of power struggle, tug of war between these two? Another thing you can also do in some of your blocking, you just, can you just grab her arm and now just like turn away a little bit? So you can, some of the gestures you guys can make blocking too, right? So now we see Proteus has power, but Sylvia's not trying to get it. He's really trying to pull her in. All right, yeah, what else?
Another way you could,
Tell him, come tell him. What's another way?
you could let go, and then she can kind of like try to beg this, and then she can just kind of like, while she's begging, she can to show equality, she can like try to beg, and while she's just like trying to like fight back at her, like, stop.
Oh, so they're both like at each other. So try, you're begging and you're like, no. So let's see that in gesture. Just hold it frozen.
No.
Yeah. All right, very nice. Thank you, Kyla. Thank you, Chigozi. Good job. So now, let me sit all the way up. Okay. So now you guys have a little bit about how we can do it. And you guys are going to direct your own show, your own scene. It's going to be really fun. So let me tell you what we're going to do right now, somewhere. Yes. Same scene that we worked on. So the instructions are, you're going to find a partner. You do not need to find a boy and a girl, although you might. I don't mind if it's 2 boys, 2 girls, because we're just working on the scenes, all right? You don't need to do the whole scene. What you need to do is pick 6 lines, which means each character speaks 3 times. So you can skip the big speech unless you're really trying to do it. Please don't everyone just pick the beginning. You can also pick the end. You and your partner are going to work on being directors together. And this, can you put your eyes here? The most important, well, not the most important thing, but very important, you must take notes on your script. So if your idea is Proteus is going to come in and take one knee and look up at Sylvia, you need to write right on your, excuse me, I'll wait, let's see. You need to write right on your script. On one knee, looking at Sylvia. Every moment that you want to do it. If you want to have begging hands, you can write that. We want to use all of our elements of blocking. So you guys are going to take great notes. Once your notes are done, then you're going to stand on your feet and rehearse it. So you're going to pick one section, work with a partner, and make your own directing notes. Is everyone clear? Ask me.
What do you mean by one section?
Yes. All right, here we go. Shh, look at me here. Oh, wait. I mean that each character speaks 3 times. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can put in the 7 because he answers your question. Or you can pick any lines that you're counting the names, not the lines that they say. So each character speaks 3 times. Is that clear? All right, so you're going to find your party, you're going to choose which section, and start doing your blocking notes. You have 1 minute to find a partner, although I need a parent who would like to share what they did. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, curtain.
Wow, good evening to your ladyship.
Thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that space?
One lady, if you knew his fair heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it.
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant.
What is your will?
That I may pass yours.
That was awesome! Raise your hand right now and tell me a great blocking element you saw them do. I thought there were so many good ones. Yeah.
Shakayla turned face away when Proteus was.
Yeah, they definitely turned away. What's another one, Daniel?
Chigozi walked closer toward him.
Yeah, what else did you see?
Sakayla also stepped backward.
I love it when she was like, Sir Proteus, as I take it, and she moved away, showing how much she's disgusted by it. It's beautiful, and I love the bow and the curtsy. Very good. All right, so for me, directing is the most fun. It's what I really love to do. And when we get our scenes, you guys are going to be able to direct it too. Very quickly, your homework, let me borrow this for a second, is you guys are almost halfway done. You have blocking notes for 1 section. Your homework is to go home. You are the director. Imagine your own vision and write blocking notes for the rest of the scene. Make them as detailed as possible. Okay?
You guys are going to start working on your scenes, staging the scene with Miss Wasserman, which means we want to do a little work on helping you figure out what makes a scene look good. So we're going to do a couple games to get us thinking They're gonna come choose a pose, but they have to choose one of 3 levels. So high is me standing, medium might be using this chair, and low level can be sitting, lying down, whatever you want to do, right? So you have to choose high, medium, or low, and then the second person is going to come in and has to relate to that. So if I choose a medium level pose, and I'm number 1, will you come next and choose a pose that has to be high or low, and relate to me? Excellent. And third person, will you come in, and now you have to make it look great. Excellent. And we're going to hold our tableau for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. So now, we're going to go in order. You guys are going to do it without me. So ready? When I say go, person number 1, come in and choose a pose. 3, 2, 1, go. You get high, medium, or low. Perfect. Beautiful. Number 2, go. Excellent. Number 3, go. And hold it, freeze. I'm going to have them freeze for 10 seconds. You guys, if you're thinking about 2 Gentlemen of Verona, we're just using our imagination, who might these characters be in 2 Gentlemen of Verona if you're looking at this relationship? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right? Go ahead. I want to hear please. Hold on. Yeah.
Greg might be crab.
Crab. Great. But we have to have them all 3. So who would all 3 be? If we know this is crab, who might this be? Launch. Who might this be?
A tree.
What?
A tree.
A tree. That could work. They could be in the forest. All right. Or speed. So we might have crab, launch, speed, or crab, launch, speed. Nice. All right. Let's do a new one. Let's have it. 1, 2, 3. Ready? So number 1, when I say go, choose a pose. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. And number 2. And number 3. Yep. Excellent. And hold it. All right. So now, take a look. Who might this be in 2 Gentlemen of Verona? Somebody raise your hand. Yeah. The Duke. Who might be the Duke? The Duke. Now, if this is the Duke, who might they be? Yeah. Julia. And who might this be? Looking at the Duke's back and what? Oh, Sylvia. Okay. Oh, you know what? Sorry, not Julia. Sylvia, right? The Duke and his daughter Sylvia. And this might be, let's out, Valentine, right? Nice. Good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action. I need your remote. Ooh, nice. Go. And go. Excellent. And now take a look at these 3 characters. Who might they be in 2 Gens? Yeah.
That's Julia.
Okay? But in relationship to, who are they?
That's Lucinda.
Julia, Lucetta?
That's Proteus.
Proteus! You know what it makes me think as you said that? Julia dreaming about Proteus, and this is the dream of Proteus. Now we've talked about how to make sort of interesting levels and tableaus on stage, but now we need to talk about the stage itself. So, if you look at our stage and our audience, one is flat and one is slanted. Which one is slanted? Your arm? The audience and the stage. One's flat, one's slanted. Yeah. What? Oh, he's being a gentleman. Either one of you. This part is what? It's slanted. And why? Why is the audience on a slant?
They wanted to play them.
Yeah. So you guys can see the whole stage, right? So if you sit down and somebody's in front of you, instead of kind of looking at the back of someone's head, it's a little bit below and you can see over, right? Yeah.
Didn't they used to have, I forgot when was it, but they had the stage slanted and then the dancers messed up their feet?
Beautiful. Yes, you're right. So a long time ago, instead of the audience being slanted, which we found out is a lot easier, so we don't mess up our feet, they had the audience flat, but the stage was slanted. So if you had somebody's head right in front of you, you would actually be able still to see the actors because they were kind of going up a hill. So if this is my stage, it would be more like this. The audience here, and the stage is on a slant. And we named the stage according to how it was when it was on a slant. So if you took a marble and you rolled it down the stage towards the audience, all the way down here by the audience, what do you call this part of the stage? The what? It is a ramp. It's called downstage.
Downhill.
Downstage.
Downstage.
Instead of downhill, it's downstage because it's the down part of the stage closest to the audience. So, what part of our stage up here is downstage? Right here, I'm standing on it, right? This is downstage. It's down closest to the audience. But what would this part up here be called, do you think? Yeah. Upstage. So we have downstage, and then all the way up here, if I were at the top of the hill, we would call this upstage. So now, what do we call this part right in the center? Center stage. And you will notice that Ms. Wasserman is handing out pieces of paper that have divided the area of the stage into 6 parts. And we have upstage, downstage, center stage, but we also have stage right and stage left. Where do you think stage right is? Which part?
On the right.
You guys are correct. Those of you that are pointing over here, and I'm impressed, because it's not your right, audience. It is my right, the actor's right, when I'm on stage, facing the audience, it's to my right. So where's stage left? Yep. Where's downstage right? Yes, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys come up on stage in a second, and I put on the stage a big blue taped off square that looks like what you are holding in your hand. So you have a mini stage on our stage. We're going to have you guys come up in a moment, and you are actually going to sit right here as the audience and face our mini stage of blue tape. Should we just have front row come first, right? Point to where center stage would be. Point to where stage right would be. Point to where down stage right would be. I go all the way down and up to the right. Point to where upstage right would be. Point to where upstage left would be. Point to where center stage left would be. Center stage and to the left. Point to where downstage left would be. Point to where downstage center would be. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you guys go half and half. So we're going to have the girls go first. Girls, you're going to leave your cheat sheets right where they are. We're going to see how much you have memorized. We're going to get you up on stage. Can you come stand in any of the upstage boxes? And there are 3 of them. Any of the upstage boxes and face the audience. Now, girls. All right, and ladies, turn and face the audience. Beautiful. All right, so ladies, we're going to give you some stage directions. Gentlemen, you are going to be directors in just a moment. I'll show you what you guys are going to do. Ladies, I'm going to give you 2 different boxes to choose from. And when I say go, I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to carefully make your way to one of those boxes. All right? If you're totally lost, follow along with your friends. So I'm going to say choose between the downstage left box or the downstage right box. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, good, 4, 5, nice, raise your hand.
We are in a bag.
So, there's no bag, we're learning to carry the stage. Raise your hand if you are downstage left. Yes, raise your hand if you're downstage right.
This is smart.
Yes.
No, they're right.
Yeah.
So that's the actor's perspective.
And even if they turned around, it would still stay the same, right? It's always stage left is always the actor's left and always the actor's right. Gentlemen, can somebody raise their hands and give me a stage direction?
Yo, I know I got. Yeah.
Quiet.
No, upstage right.
Don't go yet. One choice is upstage right. What's another choice, gentlemen? Yep.
Upstage middle.
Upstage Upstage center or upstage right, go. Upstage center. Upstage right or upstage center. Great. Raise your hand if you are upstage center. You don't have to move. Yes, raise your hand if you're upstage right. Yes. Now, ladies, I'm going to add one more challenge. I want you to imagine, because directors never want you to turn their backs on the audience unless they tell you to imagine that you have a flashlight that is maybe your belly button shining out to the audience. And you always have to have your light shining on the audience. You cannot turn your light to face away from the audience. It must always shine on the audience. And now, if you walk around the stage, you have to figure out how to walk, keeping your flashlight to the audience without crashing into each other. All right? I think you can do it.
I don't remember the theater term for that.
There we go.
What's the theater term for always facing the audience? You don't know it? Yep.
Yes. Perfect. Good job. All right. Let's give the ladies 2 more stage directions. Gentlemen, raise your hands. Who has the stage directions? Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Down.
Nope. That's the next one. Down stage center and
Down.
down stage left.
Right.
Down stage right. Down stage center or down stage right. Go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise your hand if you are down stage center.
No, Shanti.
Raise your hand if you're down stage center. Down stage center. Only one person knows the down stage center. 2, 3. Good. Raise your hand if you're down stage right. Excellent. Now this is going to be a challenge with the flashlights because they're going to probably move backwards. So, gentlemen, 2 more stage directions. Yeah.
Down stage jump.
Up. Yep. 2 hands. Center stage right and is there no hands? Yeah. Center stage right or center stage left. Go. Watch the flashlights. 5, 4, 3. Nice. Careful. 2 and 1. Raise your hand if you are.
No.
Raise your hand. No. Hey, I'm gonna ask you guys. Please don't call out. Thank you. Raise your hand if you're center stage left. Wow. Raise your hand if you're center stage right. Yes. Give the ladies a little round of applause. Yeah, the flashlight. Now you're gonna get out your scripts. Oh no. My script. And we are going to look at the first scene, which is not the beginning of your script. We have Proteus in a soliloquy in the beginning, so we're going to skip Proteus' soliloquy just so we've got a couple people on stage. And we're going to go to your first scene, which is page 8, Act 2, Scene 7, Part 1. And we have Julia and Lucetta on stage. Who is Julia and Lucetta in that? Now, since you are all the directors, right? Just like when you were directing each other and raising your hand and giving stage directions. If you haven't thought about the scene, raise your hand and give us those stage directions or tell us those levels and pose and we will use them. So, this is Act 2, Scene 7, Part 1 and maybe Part 2. It's Julia and Lucetta. Can somebody tell me in like a sentence or 2 what's happening in this scene? Yes, my love.
Julia is asking Lucetta for advice.
Julia is asking Lucetta for advice. That's what she seems to do, right? Lucetta, help me. And what advice is she asking this time?
Precious.
Yeah. If she should go see Proteus, right? Proteus is in Milan. She's not. She misses him. So let's think about, raise your hand if you're Julia. Who's Julia? Where should Julia be if she's asking Lucetta for advice? What area of the stage? Should she be center? Should she be right? Should she be left? Up? Down? What do you guys think, directors? Yeah. Center stage. Julia, our actor's favorite spot, you are center stage. What level pose should she have? High, medium, or low? Yeah. A high pose. Excellent. Now let's go to our lovely Lucetta. What should she be doing? Yeah. She's a low pose or she comes down stage? Both? Excellent. So what should she be doing in her low level pose? Kneeling. And should she be doing anything or just kneeling? Just kneel? Okay. Lucetta, can you kneel down for us? And that's interesting too because if we talk about status, who has the higher status? Excellent. Yeah. Don't worry. And now, do we have a suggestion? Yeah.
should turn around.
She should turn around to face her. Now this is, yes, this is a moment that the director said you have to turn your flashlight away from the audience. So Luchetta gets to actually face Julia and relate to her. Good adjustment. And should Julia have any pose of any kind? No. She just stands?
Yeah.
Asking her. She's asking her an asking pose. Great. So on the count of 3, can you ladies show me your tableau of you asking her advice, and should she be looking up or looking down?
No, roll over.
We're gonna look sad, am I not?
No.
So this is why directors are helpful. Directors, what do you think? Yeah. No? She should be looking happy, looking up. Okay, great. Just out of curiosity, because we put her on the floor, why would somebody who's a servant or a waiting person be on the floor for sometimes? Yeah.
Maybe they don't get that much like they're just like a
Sometimes they really do kneel down if an important person comes in. Well, they could be scrubbing the floor, right? So if somebody comes in, they might kneel down. Or if she's a servant, she might be scrubbing the floor. So she might actually be working. Yeah.
Her back face, like slightly towards that way.
Great. So cheating a little bit. So half and half. That works. Great. And maybe scrubbing the floor over there. All right. And with an asking pose. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, tableau. Freezing your tableau. Just freeze, don't scrub yet. Just freeze in your scrubbing pose. Excellent. And then when I say action,
Stop.
when I say action, Julia, will you just say your very first line? Ready? Of counsel. 1, 2, 3, action. Good. Lieutenant, will you just say your very first line?
So next to that line in your scripts, I want you to write where they are on stage. You can use this and these abbreviations as a guide and how they're positioned. So maybe you want to write high, medium, or low. Because as a director and an actor, I'm going to be taking these notes this week.
Oh yeah, we have a few more minutes. Yeah. All right, great. So now we want to think, guys, because this scene, even though we've divided it in half, it's actually one big scene. Part 1 and part 2 is actually one big scene. We want to think about what might happen in the middle of the scene. What might happen in the middle of the scene? Would it be the same tableau or would it change? It would change. What might it look like in the middle of the scene? Luchetta stands up. And what is the advice that she gives to Julia?
Don't fall.
What's the advice she gives to her? Yeah. Yeah. So she's saying, don't visit Proteus, right? Maybe you shouldn't go. It's dangerous and scary. So she gets to stand up. Director, should she still be here? No. Where should she be? What do you think? Center left. Great. So middle of the scene, come right here. You get to stand up, Luchetta. You leave your scrubbing, and you come stand here. What about Julia? She's still here. Oh, she goes where? A little closer.
There, so she sits down.
She gets to sit in the chair. Yeah? Great. So this now, let's see this pose. You're saying no, and you're sitting in the chair. 3, 2, 1, tableau. And look, things have changed. Who has more of the power at this moment? She does, by saying, no, you shouldn't go. Excellent. And let's see if we have a line for you. Let's see. I do not, Luchetta, can you say, I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire? Let's take that one. Ready? 3, 2, 1, action.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire,
Nice. And, yeah, say it, keep going.
but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn above the bounds of reason.
And even though this isn't your scene, Julia, will you turn the page and just say the first line of the next Julia's? Just all one thing. The more
The more
These.
thou damnest it up. Hey, directors, we're respectful. The more, and to dam something up is like putting a dam in a river, right? Which means you're stopping something from moving. So what would she be stopping from moving?
hot fire.
Her hot fire. What is the hot? What Shakespeare time when we talk about the hot fire?
Yes.
You're stopping my love. It's hot fire. So the more you thou damned it up, what then it says, the more
more it burns.
The more it burns. All right, let's go to the ending of this scene. What happens at the very end, directors? Yep.
She decides she doesn't care what we did.
She doesn't care what the tennis says and decides to go. Yep. So she should be up again. Where should she be?
On the floor.
Upstage. Upstage center? Upstage left? Upstage center? A very powerful place to be. So come upstage center. And what should her pose be like? Like this? I don't care what you say, Lieutenant. Where should Lieutenant be?
On the floor.
Lieutenant gets to go back down to the floor. Oh dear. She's not being all right? Wait, listen, guys, over here. You're doing great, by the way. Nice job figuring out the blocking.
Now that Chloe is telling that they're all Chloe is reaction, maybe tell her what to do.
So she might be telling her what to do. So do you still think she's low?
Yeah.
Okay. Very low. Right. So maybe a little closer. So upstage left. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, action.
But what happened when you go alone?
You can answer that. Not like a woman.
Not like a woman.
Or I would put